Hey everyone, welcome to Voiceflow. What's this tool all about? It's an AI tool that lets us use chatbots with AI agents. For those unfamiliar, a chatbot is what you see here, a bot we set up for specific conversations, right? Like customer support with various categories, options, and responses. That's what a chatbot is. The cool part is these bots now work with AI, so we don't need someone constantly managing them. So let's dive in. How do you create an account in Voiceflow to get started? Well, we simply click the blue button on voiceflow.com. We click Get Started for free, and from there, we'll be given access to create our continue with Google or with our name, email, and password. So let's continue with Google here. They'll ask about our objective. Okay, let's put this here. Now they'll ask for some initial information where they'll ask us to name our first bot. All right, I'll call it test, and here we can set the language. Okay, English works fine. As you can see, we can start with a basic template or templates like customer support, Unicom support, or a skin builder. Let's start with the basic template. We click Get Started. Here we can import a web page. This way we'd import data from that web page. The chatbot could then answer based on that website's info. If there's no page to import, that's fine too. And there we have it. Our Voiceflow project is created. Alright, how can we create a project in Voiceflow? Well, we'll basically go to the workspace section, okay? In the creator voiceflow.com, workspace area, we simply click the logo in the top left corner. From here, we can click on new agent, okay? As far as I know, I think you can only have one in the section of oh, actually no, because they give you 7 days to test. Okay, got it? So you click new, and from here you can create, set the language, name it, and start with a template like basic, customer, or e-commerce, right? Once you have it, you just enter, okay? And as you can see here, we'd have the workflow, right? The first question and answer workflow. Click edit, and there you'd have your first workflow up and running. Alright, let's start by understanding how the Voiceflow interface works, specifically how we can send messages. In Voiceflow, we'll be working with the workflow section where we have our first workflow for questions and answers. When we enter, we'll find a template. We can select the entire template or delete it. Now let's see how we can create a welcome message with our bot. As you can see, we have various options. We'll select the talk option and the message option. We can send a message, prompt, image, card, or image carousel. All AI-powered messaging options. So we'll send a message by connecting the trigger. As you can see, we can link the trigger with block. This trigger, as you can see, is a start trigger. We could use an intent or event trigger, which are different types, but we won't get into that now. Basically, we'll rename new block to something like welcome. Once we have this, we click enter agent message and type the message we want. We'll put something like, hello, welcome to the chatbot. Do you have any questions? This would be the first message. If we go to test the agent to try our bot, you'll see that when we start new chat, it greets us. Right now, this bot only sends messages, which is what we want. What's another way we can send messages? Well, through an image. We can send or upload an image. I'll pick any random one. When we click test your agent, it'll welcome us and upload this image. If we don't want the image, we right click and select delete. We can send a card, which is basically an image with a title and description. We could even add buttons to it. What's this useful for? Well, in this case, it's not very relevant, but it could help close a sale. Instead of the editing program I've shown here, you could use a product card as an example, like a $1,000 TV. Add a $1,000 TV, a brief description, and a button. The button simply says buy now. Clicking buy now could redirect the person elsewhere. Let's test it by clicking talk message, and we'll set it to show it's currently out of stock. We click run, then run test, and it'll say, hello, welcome to this chatbot. Do you have any questions? It shows the $1,000 sponsorship, and we click buy now. Then it tells us it's currently out of stock. So that's how we can send messages. How can we send an AI-powered message to a prompt? I don't recommend it. I prefer closed messages, but AI does add some life to it, mainly using talk. We drag prompt and create a new one here. Here I tell it to welcome the user who's talking to it. Hit add, we can include conversation history and more. There's the prompt, which I haven't named yet, but we could. Now we click run, then run test, and it'll start with an AI generated welcome. There it is. Hello there, I'm happy to chat with you and help you with whatever you might need. How are you going today? This was generated using artificial intelligence. So yeah, it's that simple. Alright, let's see how we can add buttons in Voiceflow. We have this small trigger with a start and a welcome message. Hello, welcome to chatbot. Do you have any questions? Now we're going to add buttons. For this, we go to the listen section and select button. Got it? Here we have different options. First, we're going to add a button. This allows us to choose between different options. For example, let's say we're in customer support and the person has questions. We add it. Click add other for errors or bugs, then add another for other. Understand? Now we have 3 outputs. Each can have a confirmation message, questions, bugs, and other. So we'd have those 3 outputs there. In this case, I've just put simple messages. The buttons section lets you add. I'm not sure how many buttons you can add. Well, it seems like infinite. I guess not infinite, but you shouldn't add too many. Usually give people at most 5 choices and stop there. So 5 would already be. Here we have 3 options, including no match for when no answers fit. We can activate it. Here we could say, I can only help with questions and errors. Here we can generate 5 variants for more natural responses. I can ask for 5 more variants or 3 more. This way it'll sound more natural and won't seem like a bot. Then listen for other intents means if none of these options exist, we'll disable it, and no reply simply means it doesn't answer. So essentially this ends up disabling the bot. So this is what we have right now. Let's hit test and it says, hi, welcome to the chatbot. Do you have any questions? Here we select questions, errors, or boo. Let's choose, for example, questions. And it'll say questions. Okay, basically what we had input. Now let's test it again. Let's begin. Suppose we don't reply and just type something instead of selecting a button. And what it'll say is what it just told us. Okay, I can only help with problems and challenges, okay? This response is part of the no match option, got it? That's why it's so crucial to include it. So, we've now set up the various buttons and their options. In Voiceflow, we can offer users different options like yes or no questions. For instance, we can say, welcome to this chatbot. Do you have any questions? We might want buttons for this using the buttons section, or we might not show buttons at all. Even without visible buttons, options exist. The bot will ask, do you have any questions? If I say yes, it'll respond with, I don't care. You might wonder, do I have to explicitly say yes? Well, no, you don't have to. I could say, I have some questions about the app. Can you help? This essentially expresses having a doubt. The chatbot should help, but using AI. But if it can track that my answer was a yes, like yeah, it'll interpret yeah as I don't care. For example, there's I don't care. This is a more open-ended approach, unlike buttons that give users specific options to choose from. Personally, I much prefer buttons. It's more structured and straightforward. We can select it by clicking listen, dragging the choice. It's already there, so I can't. And adding a trigger. The trigger will essentially be a question. We'll ask the question with a chat message like, hi, welcome to the chatbot. Any questions? These triggers will determine the bot's next action. So what triggers the bot's next action is whether the person has a positive intent, like saying yes, or having a question, or a negative intent, like saying no. So why complicate things? Let's put yes here and no there. Basically, if they answer yes, we send them one way, and if no, we send them the other way. We can create variants, as you see, for the welcome message. Let's do it, it'll be cool. There are 5 welcome variants, then we can make no match variants. We create a no match and say, sorry, I can only help with questions. Got any? Do you have any questions? Here we generate 5 variants. This is for when the response doesn't match. We disable listen for intent, which means not listening for other user intentions or letting them answer for us, which we don't want. Now, if I respond randomly, he'll say, sorry, I can only assist with questions. Do you have any questions? If I say yes, he'll reply, I don't care. You might ask, is this just like using buttons? Yes, but without actual buttons. If we want to add buttons, say for yes, but not no, we add a yes button, test it, and he'll ask Yida, any questions? We can click yes or type no in chat. Then he'll say something like, don't talk to me. So that's how we can set it up. How can we store the user's response in a variable? This is important because, for example, I've made an agent that says, press 1 for more. I send 1, and it will detect if I've pressed 1. If it detects I pressed 1, it'll send me, I don't care. There it is, I don't care. So how can we store that variable? Variables aren't just numeric. They can be any type. For this, we'll go to the listen section and create a new workflow. I'd like to remove this one, put it aside somewhere else. I'm not sure if... Let's delete this. We hit start, then go to listen and select capture. Now, as you see, we're selecting an entity to capture. Entities are just variables, that's all. We click the plus sign to create an entity. As you can see, we can choose the color. It's cool for organization and such. Types like name, age, URL, date, phone, etc. Let's use the simplest, name. We can name this variable like username. As you'll see, we have the values section. Here we can input the entity's value. We'll add 10 examples. First, last random names. We hit create entity. Now I'll make a message. I'll add a message. It says use cloud adapters. We add a cloud adapter. Put username. There it is. It'll say hi blah blah. Now we'll do, can't put it below, no. Watch this, I'm going to hit test your region. Since I'm not asking any questions, I'll just input my name directly. I'll just call myself Mike, and he'll respond with, hello Mike. That's what it should do, in theory. Could you please provide your full name, including both, and, well, for first and last name, I'll say Mike Tyson, just for kicks. Now he'll say, hello, Mike Tyson. So that's what it's going to do for us. As you can see, we have the option to auto reprompt if we don't answer exactly as expected, which I think is what happened to me. I think if I'd given both names initially, it wouldn't have asked again. I'll test that. Well, it asks anyway. If disabled, we'll need to input the prompt manually. Okay, let's see. We ask, could you provide your first and last name? We'll generate 5 variables. Let's see how it handles this now. Okay, it'll start with hi and ask for the name. So this is a simple way to store information and to reuse it later. That's it. Pretty straightforward. How can we make our bot work with variables? Working with variables means identifying words, numbers, or other data. To start, let's begin with a message. I don't know. What is your role? Instead of providing different options, which would be the usual approach in the listen section, we'll give buttons to choose the role, like editor or whatever. We'll simply capture the information the user provides and store it in a variable, such as, let's ask for the name like username 124 and create it within the platform. Now when we test it, the bot will ask for the name, will respond, and it will have that information. Next, we'll add another step in the logic section, a conditional, which is basically an if path. We add a path, we add an if, and basically what we're doing is if the variable we just created, which is the username, let's say username 124 is Mike, for example, as you can see, we can click on is and choose not greater than, greater or equal, contains, doesn't contain, starts with, ends with, is empty, isn't empty. We'll choose contains. Let's make it contain Mike. So we'll send a message saying hello, and we'll also include the username in brackets. Then we'll add an else and put hello there too. Why are we putting the username here? Well, to test if we're capturing the variable info correctly. Let's test it. What's your platform username? So the issue is that the response will be the same in both cases, right? I see. Let's put hello and hello random if we don't know them. Okay, so what's your name on the platform? Mike, right? I enter Mike, but it doesn't work. I just saw an error saying I've reached my token limit, okay? An upgrade and such. Can't show you, but if I were Mike, it'd say, hello Mike, got it? You might ask, why do we need tokens for this? Well, AI is used to set that variable's value, you see. Instead of coding it, they use AI to verify if I'm really named Mike, understand? That's why it's not working, see? I'm out of tokens, simple as that. But anyway, that's how we use conditional. Alright, now that we have a good grasp of the basics of how Voiceflow works, there are of course other things such as functions and custom scripts. If we can't do exactly what we want, we can integrate with APIs and do many extra things. But I wanted to show you how to publish it, which is basically done with this publish button here. We give it whatever name we want, click publish, and as you can see, it will prepare to publish, compiling the workflows and so on. This is how we can publish our bot, okay? It's that simple. Alright, let's talk about Voiceflow's paid plans. I'll compare it to other tools like WordPress. I have to say I liked Voiceflow, but I didn't like the free test limits. They may use AI for unnecessary things. The token usage was not normal. Anyway, let's look at the pricing. The free plan is called Get Started for Free. Paid plans start at $60/month per editor. WordPress starts at $100. So let's see what $60/month gets you. You get 2 editors per purchase and 1 workspace, 200 info resources per agent, 5,000 tables, up to 20 agents, 10 MAI tokens per month, 50k messages month, and 5 concurrent voice calls. Look, 10 million AI tokens a month might seem like a lot, but it's not really. 10 million tokens for a chatbot doesn't seem that much to me. I burned through 100,000 tokens in just 20 messages one afternoon, so 10 million that's only 200 messages. Well, compared to hiring specialized tech support, it's obviously cheap, right? But compared to other tools, limiting AI tokens might not be the best option. Then the team plan increases to 5,000 knowledge base entries. Oh my god, this is insane. 1 million table rows, another crazy amount for just $125. It's very well priced. Again, 30 million. Looks like there are top-ups. I guess they let you buy more tokens. 2 million for $5. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Priority support, 100,000 messages per month, right? They don't specify the message count in the free plan. To me, 50,000 messages per month seems excessive. I've gotten an alert that I've used up my tokens and I've only sent 20 messages, you know. Maybe I've used up daily tokens, not monthly ones. That could be it, right? I mean, 10 million tokens for coding is just wow. You could build your dream app with that many tokens. 10 million tokens in an app like Visa or similar. I think it's a ton. I know I judged it before, but it says per month, not day. I think the pro plan is good to start with. If that's not enough, go for the team plan. And the team plan should be sufficient. If not, you'd need to go for enterprise. So, is Voiceflow a good tool? It's a good tool. Okay? It's better than BotPress. I think Voiceflow is clearly more cost effective. I find BotPress to be much more customizable. I also think Voiceflow gets up to speed quickly. They're constantly updating and improving too. We'd need to dig deeper to decide which is better, especially regarding integrations and such. Not so much about the core program. The core of both programs is pretty much the same. Well, BotPress has many more configuration options, right? That's certainly true, but those extra settings might not be as necessary. Voiceflow has the essentials, what's important. BotPress lets you do things in various ways, but in the end, you're doing the same thing. So yeah.